evening and welcome to More Minutes, the podcast where two friends relive their childhoods, or in some cases, learn about everything they missed out on. I'm Kendra.
Well, thank you, Kendra. And this is Scott over here, and it's looking pretty cool on the east side of Washington. I remain Scott every time we record this podcast, and I'm going to send it back to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You kind of remind me of the crazy weather guy.
Crazy weather guy.
You're like the crazy weather guy who sometimes does sports. So you have like that,
Oh.
Because I feel like the weather guy is always a little aloof.
He's kind of slightly stranger than the rest of them.
Yeah, like Tim Adams. You probably don't know about that because you didn't live with your parents who watched the news.
Yeah, no, I don't know who that is.
Yeah. I think he moved or something. It was like a big deal. People were like, gee, Tim moved to Spokane, whatever. Also, like my cousin worked at the news station, so I feel like I was a little bit more in tune because he would like post things.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. I grabbed a couple dumb jokes.
Okay.
In a little while.
Did you reach into the internet and pull them out?
Yeah, I have them now. Did you know your pupils are the last part to stop working when you die? They die late.
Oh, I was like, am I supposed to say I see? Like,
I see. Yes. Oh, we just did a news one. How do cows stay up to date?
Up to date. I don't know.
The moose paper.
Oh my god, that's not even a joke.
Yeah, it is. It's a corny pun.
Whatever, man.
I hate my job. All I do is crush cans all day. It's so depressing.
Oh my god.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my garbage.
Yeah. Anyway.
I'm really sad because I really wanted to give you your birthday present and now I have to wait a whole other week and I've wanted to give it to you for like 2 months.
That's true. You've been super early.
I know. But I didn't want to miss like 2 of the games, you know?
Are they like the first ones or have you already had one?
Our first one is tomorrow. There was supposed to only be a varsity game. And then like after practice, I think it already started, he added these 2 games. Because like I didn't need to go to we didn't need all 4 coaches to go to the varsity game. So like she didn't care if I was going to miss it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, I can try to actually call a couple of golf courses and see if we can get in anywhere then.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'll probably still just leave early because we have a double header and our games are on Tuesdays and Fridays and they start at like 4 and 6 p.m. So I'm definitely not leaving after that.
Yeah, probably not. That would make sense.
Yeah. But it's like the first week of the trimester, so it sucks. And I had like whatever weird stomach bug is going around that I woke up at like 3 a.m. on Monday morning puking. So at least I didn't have to go to work because it was our break day.
Oh.
And I felt fine. Like I felt by like noon, I felt fine.
Okay. Yeah. Well, at least it was over quick.
Yeah, it was weird. But I haven't used my golf clubs yet. But me and the teacher who coaches golf or whatever might go do hit them on Sunday. I'll probably do that no matter what, but
go warm up a little bit.
Yeah. Is that the golf version of that shoe back there?
Yeah. I'll be wearing those.
Heck yeah. Mine probably won't come by then because I have to get sent to trade block and then come. Damn. I was gonna be like, man, we're gonna look so cool on our J's.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Next time.
Yeah. I don't know. Today I wore my Almas, my ones, and one was like, dang, man, it's keep freezing. Was I freezing for you?
Yeah, you cut out a lot too.
Yeah, it's like super glitchy. One of my students was like, dang, miss, you have like good shoe game or something. I was like, hell yeah, man. I mean, I didn't say that, but
hell yeah, man.
Internet speed test. Yeah.
So then just been coaching the softball, living the life, huh?
Yeah, I'm so tired. Like I've been literally falling asleep before 9:30. And
Well,
like I went to
get
CrossFit this
sleep.
morning, so I'm like exhausted. I've been up for 14 hours already.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So yeah, you kind of have to go to bed early then.
Yeah, I've been going to CrossFit. Well, I didn't go Tuesday because I still felt I didn't eat very much on Monday because I felt okay, but I wasn't hungry after like puking. And I
Yeah.
didn't want to like go work out when you know what I mean? Like I was trying to give myself like an extra day just because like I went to
You don't want to
practice
go and like
Monday.
make yourself feel like shit.
Yeah, because like I went to practice Monday afternoon and just like hitting balls and stuff. I was kind of like, yeah, I don't really feel very good. Like, so I kind
Yeah.
of wanted to like whatever. But I've been going to CrossFit 2 days and then running 2 days, and my nutrition coach is doing the running stuff, like programming intervals for me, which is
Mm.
interesting because I feel like because I'm kind of like slow, and then I also don't run enough to ever really like improve my speed. So then I'll like go for a run, but then I'll get like tired too fast because I'm trying to like maintain whatever my slow normal speed is. But then my pace ends up being worse because then I end up stopping more.
Yeah.
So when I'm doing like intervals, I'm like, oh, even though I'm like walking every other minute, my pace is actually faster. You know what I mean? Like
Mm.
it's weird.
You burn yourself out too early.
Yeah. But I mean I'm
Jeez.
doing Bloomsday, so it's good to get like
Is that in like May or whatever? When is that?
yeah, I think it's May 7th or something. It's like the first Sunday of May, so
Woo!
yeah. Heck yeah.
Get pumped up.
Hell yeah. Um yeah, and I never ordered paint for my truck, so I guess I'm not doing that during spring break, but
Far
probably
away can I go?
probably probably Memorial Day weekend. Are you printing something?
No, but I don't. It's been printing really good, so I don't want to like fully turn the printer off and like
Oh,
reset something. So
I see.
it's in standby, but it has the little fan on it keeps grinding a little funny.
All right, well, let's jump into shoe corner. Have you purchased any other shoes this week?
Um, well, I got the UNCs. I don't remember if we recorded when
Mm-hmm.
I had those.
I feel
Um,
like I asked you about that though.
I think you did, and then I did get these like for cheap out of an auction. But they're the eights, so I didn't have the red white eights.
Oh, not. Why is
They
it
need
be
a little cleaned
freezing?
up, and obviously they're used. Oh wow, you were
Yeah,
frozen for a while.
yeah. I mean, yeah.
I got these, and then I did end up buying the low twos that are on the app.
Oh,
Give them a
yeah.
try. The
I didn't.
melons.
There's a. I yeah. I'm only going for big shoes until probably like May because I don't need to spend any more money. I haven't even been getting on whatnot because it's too tempting.
Yeah, I've been kind of cutting back on that too. Um, I did try to go for those spruce dunks though. I couldn't even get those.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, what I mean, I guess those are like a better color than like the alabaster ones were because those ones did not sell out at all.
Yeah,
But like everyone went for like the spruce ones.
yeah. I was
But
surprised how fast they sold out because I was like, I won't. If they're there in the morning, I'll grab a pair. But I
yeah,
didn't, like break my back over it.
yeah. Hmm. Yeah, I might. I don't know. I said I was gonna wait to wear the threes, but I'm honestly probably just gonna wear them
Yeah,
because those Palomino ones that I like, I don't think will be hard to get.
yeah.
I
Should
mean,
be
I
a
feel
little
like
easier.
people like threes, but that's kind of like a weird colorway. So
Hmm. For sure.
yeah,
So yeah, with that eight, I think I need five, and then I'll have 1 through 8.
yeah. Well, I'm just gonna show you what it is. Not
Recording the day before my
day
birthday, I guess.
before, so
What's that? Oh, snap. Nice. Those
yeah, because I
are
don't want you to buy them. So that's how come a part of me was like, I want to give these to him like right now, so just like buy it. But
Oh,
yeah,
those fit good.
they're like wild though.
What color are they?
They're vars or gym red.
Gym red?
I researched like I almost got you 8, so I'm glad I didn't. But they're yeah, gym red.
Gem red. I had
They were like
looked up like red and white ones, but those ones did not pop up.
Yeah, I searched deep to find.
Deep
I was
web.
like, I gotta get something that's obscure so that he doesn't buy it in between now. Because I like used the money from the Phantoms.
Oh.
And so that's like how I bought it early. I mean, then I spent a bunch of other money anyways, but that was how I justified it. That's
Nice.
I got you some other things that are not that but yeah.
Sweet. Well, thanks. The collection.
Because you're always like buying me expensive things, and I was like, I have money now, so I'm gonna buy Scott an expensive thing. And those ones aren't like ridiculous, so
yeah, hopefully those are fairly
normal. It
normal.
was hard to find some of them in red and white.
Yeah.
I was like, these have to exist because like why wouldn't they? But like
yeah, and I have no idea like the last time they made an 8 because that's like one of the original red whites.
And isn't that the one that last year when they came out with like the blue and white ones or whatever, it was like the first pair they'd released in like several years.
Mm-hmm. So I think those are like the closest ones I'll ever get unless they randomly drop a new pair. So I was like, I was like watching an auction because they had some off whites in it. And they ended up going for like $270. So I was like, okay, I'm good there. And then those were fairly cheap. So I was like, I'll just get these instead.
Yeah. That one seemed like the best target. And then I was like watching them and I did like a best offer and I was like, I need to buy these now probably because all the other pairs are like $75 to $100 more.
Oh, really?
So, yeah.
Damn.
But the guy was just like, yeah, sure. And I was like, oh, okay, cool.
Cool. Thanks, bro. Sweet.
Yeah, they're very shiny.
Yeah,
the bottoms are super weird on 9s. Like
I know.
It's like a weird, like if you were to wear these and just like I don't like it looks like I don't even know what it's supposed to be. You know what I mean? Like
yeah, I don't really know either.
I tried to like look it up on the internet because it also has words. It says like something in a different language. Like, did you see that?
Yeah. Well, that's like Chinese or something on one of them, the symbol. But I bet you those are slick as hell if it gets like wet concrete. Can you imagine? Like,
oh yeah, because it's like a design instead of traction. Yeah, which is weird because you also gym floors are slick, but you know whatever.
yeah, they didn't care back then.
Yeah, I think I had to search on like StockX to find pairs because when I just tried to like Google search, like it wasn't popping up as like without the keyword for the specific color, it like wasn't popping up.
Yeah, the closest one I had seen in the past was just like the fire red, but it's like mostly gray. So it's like, well,
yeah, because some of them I was like, why is like the main color in the name not the color the shoe is?
Yeah, they like to be confusing. They throw you off course.
Yeah, but anyways, that's your birthday present, or at least 1/3 of it, or something. But
thank you.
Man.
Be sweet.
But yeah, with those Almas on Trade Block, I was doing trades for like Dunks I like, Air Maxes I like, all worth less than the shoe. And sometimes I would add like $20 or $30, but their total would still be less than what my shoe was worth.
Yeah.
Because it only has the shoes worth at like $200, which is, and we paid like $260.
Yeah.
So I was like, if I got like the Valentine's Day Dunk Lows or something like that, something that I had actually wanted, I would have been satisfied. Like, or like the crepe Air Maxes or like something like that. And then the person who accepted it was golf shoes. And I was like, well, whatever. I need those. So
yeah, they'll get used.
Yeah. And I want to go golfing more. So
gotta make it happen.
Might have to like go by myself or something, but or with Keaton.
Yeah, you could at least convince him to go out there, even if he
always an interesting time.
Yeah.
It takes longer with him.
Yeah. You get a few.
Not that I'm like good, but like, you know.
Yeah. He's quite inexperienced, but
yeah. When you were like, I bought a shoe, I was like, if he bought the 9s, I'm gonna be so mad.
God dang it. Yeah, no joke.
Yeah, heck yeah. But yeah, the 8s are weird too because they have like a weird, like the pattern for the color is weird. I feel like, I guess 5s are kind of like that too, but
yeah,
I don't know. I like my 5s that I have.
And I don't know if you've seen the bottom of the 8s, but they're super weird too.
Oh,
like I guess they're still right here. It's like it's kind of like the 9, but it's got like the color in it.
Oh, and the like dots.
But it's hard. Like the middle part is like super hard.
Oh, hard. I mean, the bottom of the 12s is really hard too. Probably part of the reason why they're not comfortable.
Yeah, those were a little unforgiving. I wore them like for one full day. By the end of the day, it was kind of like, but it was like kind of
Yeah.
rough.
I mean, I don't walk like a lot at school. I mean, I'm in a portable, so if I have to go anywhere else, it's a little bit of a trek. But they also just like felt heavier.
hmm
But I thought it was weird how like tall the toe box was, especially since they're like technically a women's shoe.
Yeah.
But I'm assuming it's just part of how they're made. It was bothering me a little bit, but I don't know. I also threw my black ones on there because I've only worn them once, and I was like, maybe someone will want like these for a pair of dunks too.
Never
I don't
know. Nice.
People kept like, because I put that I had the cements, but I put unlikely to trade, and then people kept like sending me trades, and I was like, this says unlikely, but I guess they just want them really bad. So
If you put unlikely to trade, does that mean they can just offer to buy them, or
they can still send you an offer to trade, but it's
Mhm.
basically saying that like the person's most likely not going to accept the trade unless it's something like really good.
Interesting.
Yeah, but I shipped those today, and they go to Houston. You have a 72-hour window to ship. I don't know if the ones getting traded to me have shipped or not. I don't, unless I open the app. As far as I could see, it didn't give me that information. But they go somewhere to get verified, and
So
then they
how
get
much
sent.
did you have to pay for shipping?
I had to pay $30 because it
Oof.
includes. I think it includes the shipping there and then the shipping to the person.
Wow.
It's technically more than that, but you get a discount your first time. So I like literally lost like $120.
Yeah, that
By doing the
hurts.
trade.
$30 is a
Yeah,
lot.
that's how come I kept trying to. And for that trade, I didn't. With that trade, I didn't add cash to it.
Yeah, no doubt.
I was adding cash or on their part for most of them, but for that one I didn't. But like, yeah, people be trying to get those threes.
Them dang threes, man.
And then yeah, but all the people who I was sending trades to had those on their wish list. And even though I was going for lesser shoes and stuff, they were still like saying no. And I was like, why do you have this shoe on your wish list? Because you can search like who wants your shoe, and then it'll pop up all the people who have it on their wish list, and then you can go through and see what shoes they have in their closet, and you can send them an offer.
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean it's probably better than keeping like both pairs for who knows how long.
Yeah.
But I mean I have money, but it's not super great for me to spend $800 on, or yeah, $800 on shoes when I only wanted like one pair of them, you know?
Yeah.
That's like the sucky thing about like the raffles and stuff.
Yeah, you never know what you're gonna get.
Yeah.
Dang, I was thinking about trying to get on that app, but if it's that much for shipping, maybe I'll just keep
Is
the
it
money
still
there.
only on iOS or is it?
No, I looked up the other day. Trade Block, you said?
Yeah.
I think it is on Android now. I saw it in the store.
I think it's like 45 normal.
That's
But
ridiculous.
I think that's part of the reason how come people ask for cash so much. Because if your shoe is a little bit more valuable, then adding cash can like, it would have, like if I would have asked for $30 on that, I would have still lost money on the shoe, but I wouldn't have lost
On the shipping.
on the shipping. Yeah.
Yeah, so you almost have to mark up everything by $45.
Yeah.
Jeez. Pricey.
But yeah. Anyways, that's been Shoe Corner.
Shoe corner for the week.
Heck yeah. Oh, well, I don't need to wear green on St. Patrick's Day. I was like, what? I have to wear purple tomorrow because we have a softball game, and because on Fridays we wear purple. It's also St. Patrick's Day. I was just thinking about that. Anyways, because we were also talking about your birthday, so it was like all, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you gonna wear your twos or what?
Yeah.
I don't have green shoes because I don't really have green clothes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I figure I can get away with it because I have a lot of black. So
yeah, I don't really have a lot of black either. Like I have one black cardigan and one black plain like crew neck shirt, and that's it. I mean, I have like sweatshirts and stuff, but
yeah.
Anyways, I'm tired. Can you tell? I
I
feel like a toddler. I'm like rubbing my face.
Yeah, you're like.
So last trimester, because you know my students, my sophomores, some of them are probably listening to this now because I told them what we were going to talk about. But anyways, you guys know who you are. I kept telling them that at the end, I was like, I don't think I really told like your guys' class like anything about me because you all just like annoyed me so much that I didn't want to like talk. And so they like just recently found out that I had a podcast, and then a bunch of them came in. They're like, "Miss, I was listening to your last episode because it was about Henry Cavill, and you titled it Hot Men." Like, yeah. So some of them are very excited. They were talking about the first 3 episodes of The Last of Us because I didn't realize how many people, I guess mostly Gen Zers, are like in love with Pedro Pascal.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Miss, you should just do an entire episode on Pedro Pascal." And I was like, that doesn't really, like, last week we were talking about like hot goss with like sneakers and Henry Cavill, but that doesn't really like, we don't just like talk about hot dudes for like every single episode for an hour, you know?
Should we change our lane of podcast?
Also, this guy is 47. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna, you're listening to this, you know who you are. You're like 15. Why do you think this man who's 3 times your age is hot? Reflect on that. I'm gonna ask you about it in class.
He's just like a man's man, dude. He's like kind of rugged. He's a little grizzly. He's like a normal dude.
He's got kind of like facial hair gaps, just like you do. Do you
I
see
know.
that? Like in the little spot. Yeah.
Yeah. When I was watching the episodes, I was like, oh, that kind of makes me feel a little better.
Yeah. So maybe you'll age nicely, you know?
Maybe.
Yeah. And I guess he's in a lot of stuff. I never really, I mean, he's, because I'm so bad at like watching shows. Oh, he's in Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
But I also never finished watching that. Oh, wait, who is he? Is he? Wait,
he gets his freaking eyes crushed by the mountain, like in the duel to the death. I forget what the whole duel was for.
When they're at that one sister's place.
Yes.
So I have seen that.
Probably. It's like within the first few seasons, I think.
Yeah, I watched the first like 4, and then I watched a lot of episodes when Matilda and Bailey were watching it. I just never watched it. Like, it made it hard for me. Like, I couldn't watch it on my own because they were constantly watching in the living room. That was kind of how come I never like watched it. But I think okay.
Yeah.
But anyways, he's in a lot of stuff. Well, he's actually not in a lot of stuff, but he's in a lot of well-known things, I guess, as well.
Yeah, I don't remember. I was trying to look up before the podcast started, like a stat on him, because I saw a stat come up and it was like all of his biggest things are like not rated under 80% or something like that. Like he has such a high rating percentage as an actor. It's crazy.
And I think a lot of his well-known stuff is kind of recent, but or at least just from looking at this. It says he's been in 59 things and 5 upcoming. One of them is called Freaky Tales, post-production. Hopefully this doesn't take us on a tangent like that one thing did that one time. Remember that weird like sex stuff?
Oh, yeah.
Freaky Tales, 4 interconnected stories set in 1987 Oakland, California will tell about the love of music, movies, people, places, and memories beyond our knowable universe. I think I'd actually probably like that. It's not freaky in that way.
Yeah.
Wait, are they remaking The Bubble? Isn't that an old thing, or is this something different? Oh no, I'm getting it confused with Bubble Boy. A group of
much different, I'm sure.
Apparently Netflix is making a show he's in called The Bubble.
Nice.
Or wait, it already came out. And it's a group of actors stuck inside a pandemic bubble at a hotel, and they attempt to complete a film.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Okay, but anyways, he's in The Mandalorian.
Yep.
He's in The Last of Us.
Some of which is, I guess we should say we are talking about The Last of Us today.
yeah. Sorry, he's in the Nick Cage movie, The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. I never watched that. Did you watch it?
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Also, we have to go see Air in theaters together, so you might have to like come home sometime, and then we can do a podcast review on it.
Nice.
Yeah, sounds that's good. The Nike movie for all those people. Yeah, Jackie just randomly texted me the other day and was like, "Did you know there's a Matt Damon Nike movie?" And I was like, "Yeah, I did not. I did actually know that."
Yeah.
Wonder Woman 1984. But see, then like a lot of these things I've never heard of, like Triple Frontier. If Beale Street Could Talk, like he's uncredited in that. Like a lot of he's in Narcos. I never watched that, but you did.
Narcos is good. Yep.
I think I might have watched the first like 2 episodes. That's very on brand for me in the past like 5 years.
Yeah, true.
Blood-sucking bastards.
Nice.
But yeah, then Game of Thrones. And then a lot of just like 1 episodes of things before that. So Game of Thrones was really like his first. But also, wasn't there a lot of people in Game of Thrones who hadn't really been in anything before?
Kinda, yeah. There was a
So
few obviously big actors, but I think
yeah,
a lot of people got their
yeah.
breakout
Like
in
what's
that.
his name? Who plays Tyrion? No.
Um,
Yeah,
shoot, what is his name?
yeah. We should know his name, but we don't. At least it's both of us this time, and not just me not knowing something.
Yeah, I'm gonna kick myself when I.
I'm gonna click on it. Uh,
Peter Dinklage. Ugh,
yeah,
there
there
it
we
is.
go.
God damn it.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
there's a
Wow.
lot of
Wow.
people like
Wow.
that though.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, because did you respond to my text the other day when I was like Marlon Wayans is in Air?
Oh, I don't know if I did respond, but I saw it.
Yeah. So I was like, that's gonna be full circle, you know?
First
We
movie
go from
review.
snails to whoever he played in that.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah. And if you haven't listened to that, it's like episode 6 or something.
It's way
It's
back
somewhere in
there.
the first 10, I think. It was our first bad movie review.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the best movie out there. Like everyone should watch it. The
Mm.
Dungeons and Dragons movie,
Yeah.
2001 or whatever.
Yeah, if any of your students are listening, you guys go ahead and watch it, and you tell
Yeah,
Kendra
actually, guys, I
terrible it is.
purchased it. That is a movie I will show you in class. Okay, this is gonna be funny because a bunch of them who were like, "Oh, we've been listening," are all in the same class. So I'm just waiting for them to listen to this sometime next week, and then on different days, I'll come in and ask me the same question.
Right? Yeah. Let it trickle in.
Anyways, what we are talking about is The Last of Us, as we mentioned, just the first 3 episodes because that's all I've watched so far. Because I'm a tired teacher slash coach slash podcast producer slash editor slash poor social media manager. I guess haven't even made dice in like 3 months, but you know it's fine. And I think didn't the finale like just air like a couple nights ago, or they just added it. I feel like I heard.
Well, I heard there was like an alternate episode that they aired or something.
Oh, it says there's 9 episodes.
Yeah, 9.
But that's fine. We can break it into groups of 3. We're recording every other week right now, so
yeah. But see, 9 came out on the 12th, so it's been a little while. So I think they released some kind of alternate one, but it wasn't on HBO yet.
I see. So. Oh, I think I did see something about that. But yeah, I mean, we'll just do it in sets of 3. That'll be good because the last one I watched was the one with Bill Offerman in it. That's his name, right? Bill Offerman.
Nick Offerman.
Nick, but he plays Bill. That's right.
Yes.
Okay. I think in my head I was like, "Oh, weird. Why is his name his real name?"
Wow, how convenient.
4 letters. The second letter is both an I. Like it's fine.
There you go. Yeah.
And let's see. So I bought the Last of Us, I think on my PlayStation 4, but I think I only played like I don't think I did very much in it. Like I think it was kind of making me motion sick a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think I kept because it's like a weird when it starts, I think it's like I think you could like see arms. I think I could see arms but no body.
So it's first person, you're saying?
Well, yeah, but sometimes when it's first person, you can set it so you can see the person.
Right.
And I don't think you could like do that. And that's kind of what makes me dizzy, I think. So, because I know I got it because I was all like into like the Critical Role people and they were coming out with The Last of Us Part 2. And I was like, OMG, The Last of Us is on sale. It's like $15. I'm going to buy it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just like never played it.
Yeah.
The other day, one of my students was like, Miss, have you played Skyrim? I was like, I played 15 hours and got to the second dragon. He was like, wait, there's more than one dragon? And someone was like, dude, there's like 6 dragons.
There's so many dragons.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you played for, I mean, more than some games.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, well.
But I mean, there are, oh, sorry. I was reading something that confused me. But anyways, yeah, because there's a lot of voice actors. I think every cast member of Critical Role is in The Last of Us Part 2. And then I think that like half of them or more are in the first one.
Interesting. So. I had my roommate that I lived with in college played it. So I knew the story already. But I've never played it myself. And, you know, after this series, maybe it'll be a good reason to actually go play it.
I don't know how much Like, do we know how much it follows, like, what actually happens in the
It's
game?
pretty damn close.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, when you look at pictures of the game, it looks a lot like what the city looks like too. Is it
They did a
Atlanta
good
or where is
job.
it that is? I
I
forget.
mean, they're all over. They're in
Right.
Boston and
Oh, yeah, it's Boston, where the
Mhm.
beginning is what I
Yeah.
meant. But yeah, when you look at like a game, a game screen grab, it shows like all the overgrown stuff and like the skyscraper or the big buildings and whatever.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah. So I mean, obviously, if you're here, you probably know about it. We don't need to give like that much detail. But the game came out we'll do a little bit of that background, I guess. But it came out in 2013.
Yeah.
The game did. So it's been out for 10 years. Which is probably a good timeline for a show coming out, I guess.
Yeah.
The game was developed by Naughty Dog, and published by Sony. And you control Joel and Ellie. So that's the part. I'm just crazy. It's me.
Oh, are you back?
Did you hear
Hello?
anything I was saying?
No.
Oh, okay. Because if you obviously in the show, Ellie gets shot real quick.
What? No.
Oh no, that's the other girl. Okay.
Sarah.
Okay. Sarah, yes. So in the game,
Mm-hmm.
does Sarah die?
Yep.
I wonder if that's like when I stopped because that all happens
Probably.
right
That's
at the
like the
beginning.
opening.
Yeah, because like I don't even know if I made it through the opening
Yeah.
thing. Like I think I got in the truck and that was it. Like
Yeah.
I think I started getting dizzy by the time they got in the truck, and I was like, "No, I'm good."
I'm good on this, bro.
Yeah,
So you
I
played the
kept waiting
prologue,
for
basically.
Sarah to like not actually be dead, even though I'm assuming she is actually dead.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah, but yeah. I mean, basically, I mean, by the third episode, it might have been in the second episode. They explain like how it spread or how they're assuming it spread, which was through food. I maybe shouldn't be in charge of talking because I'm kind of jumping around like a lot.
Okay, yeah, I'll break it down a little too much. You already
Okay.
said the game came out in 2013.
Yeah.
So it is kind of how you would classify it, kind of a zombie game.
Yeah, it's like an apocalyptic. They're not like this. They're similar zombies, kind of to like The Walking Dead, but it's definitely like a different take on.
Yeah, it's not your stereotypical zombies. It's like a fungal mushroom based infection.
Yeah, it's actually kind of cool. Like
the
part of me that's interested in like learning and science is like, ooh, what if a mushroom infected my brain? Ooh, that made me think of when the chick sacrifices herself and she just like lets him like.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So that was what I think it's in the first episode. Obviously, we start off on a normal.
I wasn't expecting her to be out so fast.
No, and it kind of follows that theme the whole time.
Yeah.
But that was, obviously we open up. It's a normal world. Joel's a contractor. He's like a normal man's man because he's Pedro Pascal.
Yeah, he's just like a single dad or whatever.
Single dad. He's got a cool little daughter that puts up with his crap and basically feeds him.
Yeah,
one of those people that are like probably too good for real humanity. And then all of a sudden one day things start going crazy. She's home alone and she goes to check up on her elderly neighbor, and she's normally wheelchair bound, but she has attacked her family and pretty much
well, it's the dog first. She's like, why are you out here? Like,
that's true. The dog
is out.
comes and
the dog
her.
Runs away. She tries to like bring him to the house and he's like, nope, I'm gone.
Like, no, we're not doing that. And then crazy zombie fungus grandma really starts raging. And then what kind of puts it, I mean, the first episode is wild because you can see the emphasis they put on how fast like everything happens. It is like literally the world goes to shit in like one day. That's pretty much all it takes.
Yeah. I mean, it's almost like overnight too. Like it's not even like,
happens like right at 2 a.m.
And her dad is gone because he went to get his like brother out of jail or something.
Yeah, his brother was in jail. He had to go bail him out. Dang Tommy got put into jail. He's a hothead.
There's always the people named Tommy.
Yep. So and they come back luckily just in time to save Sarah from the crazy zombie grandma, and he like smacks her in the head with a freaking
Mhm.
monkey wrench. Pretty brutal.
Oh, I was thinking Atlanta because that's where The Walking Dead is, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hmm. And but when they started like showing off like the first zombies and the weird like furry fungus stuff that comes out of your mouth, it's just like, ugh. It's like so
Yeah.
visceral and weird.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, yeah. I mean, these are long episodes too, so we can't go into like super detail on everything. But like, I think it does do a good job of like setting it up.
Hmm.
It's got a good hook.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And then like, yeah, as soon as they like he shows up, he's all like, "Why are you out here? Get in the truck!" Blah, blah, blah. And they
Yeah.
just like try to leave, but it's just like the same thing that happens in every like zombie apocalypse. Like everyone's trying to leave at the same time,
Hmm.
and then and there's also the weird deal with the military, and they just show up and they start shooting people.
Yeah.
Like
So
they're not even like giving like you don't know that everyone was infected. And they were all like,
yeah.
"Oh, the people in the country, they might be okay because they're not buying stuff from the stores or
Hmm.
going." Well, at that point, I don't think they knew what was causing it, but like they're away from the people, so like
Yeah. And I
whatever.
mean, it does kind of allude to that in episode 2, like when they kind of
Mm-hmm.
go back to Indonesia and they like discover
Mm-hmm.
that's where it apparently first broke out.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it's chaos. Obviously, planes are crashing, people can't get anywhere, highways are locked up. So they're just like four wheeling out in the middle of nowhere. Joel, his brother Tommy, and Sarah. Um, they get to a point where they can't drive through. They lose the truck. It gets wrecked into. They have to go
Mm-hmm.
on foot, and Sarah's hurt, so Joel's carrying her. And then eventually they are stopped by a military guy, and there's some very cryptic orders he gets in his earpiece, which kind of allude to, hey, we don't care. Don't even check if they're infected. We're just killing people at this
Mm-hmm.
point. Just end them. We can't let it keep spreading, basically. So
Yeah.
the military guy tries to shoot Joel. Tommy comes in, shoots him.
Mm-hmm.
But when Joel gets up, he realized he was only grazed, but that Sarah took the bullet.
Yeah.
So his nice, wonderful daughter, unfortunately, passes pretty early in the first
Mm-hmm.
episode.
And that makes him a hard man.
Yes. And then, all of a sudden we jump to 20 years later, which I forgot how
Yeah.
big of a jump it was.
Mm-hmm. And it's going from like early 2000s to like current time pretty much, right? Like that's
Yeah,
kind
it
of how
goes
they
from
had it.
'03 to 23.
Yeah.
Hmm. So we come in, and then Boston is like this big quarantine zone where a bunch of people are living. Um,
Mm-hmm.
it's like very basic, diluted economy at that point. You're like literally doing odd jobs for the military, and they will give you rations as payment. So
Mm-hmm.
Joel is trying to basically just stack up rations. He's on sewer duty, he's burning bodies, he's doing like all the terrible jobs because they pay the most, and he just wants to make money.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then it's revealed that Tommy is still alive somewhere, and the last time they heard from him, he was over in Cody, Wyoming.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but they haven't heard anything, so they're getting a little worried. It's been a few weeks since he's checked in by radio, so they're kind of assuming the worst.
Mm-hmm.
Um, really, Joel's whole motivation to begin with is he's going to go find his brother, and to do that, he needs a car. He needs a car battery.
The
Um,
battery is very important.
battery is very important. Um, and he's working with his partner Tess, um,
Mm-hmm.
and she's kind of, it's alluded that they've been together for a long time, kind of, surviving, doing things that they've got to do.
Mm-hmm.
So they're trying to get the battery,
Mm-hmm.
and along the way, it turns out the Robert, the punk battery dealer, scams them and sells it to someone else. So
Mm-hmm. And the people he sells it to are part of an organization. I
the
don't remember what it
Fireflies.
was.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yep, he tries to sell it to them, but then lo and behold, the battery's bad anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then I guess it's worth noting, like the people in charge of these quarantine zones is FEDRA, which is the
Yeah.
Federal Disaster Response Agency. So
Mm-hmm.
they've kind of got free reign on the world since the whole disaster, and they
Mm-hmm.
are kind of military rule. They're kind of tyrannical. They're not very nice.
Yeah.
They do what they need to get by,
And
I
it
guess.
is in the first episode. I guess both my lines are blurring a little bit between the first two since that's kind of the same thing continuing because the third one is when it switches different people. But uh because they do kind of like cut back and forth between people that they haven't really introduced you to yet. Like
Yeah.
when they have Ellie in like captivation, it's they're like alluding to why she's there and they're
Yeah.
doing it's almost like doing like drunk driver tests. Like they're having her like count
hmm
and say who she is and stuff like that, I think.
Hold her hand steady and straight.
Yeah. But they're not like super explaining like why she's doing that and why she's like chained in a corner and like
hmm
what they're doing to her.
Yeah. So we get all of those characters kind of rapid fire, obviously. Um, so when Tess and Joel go to try and reclaim their battery, they run into the Fireflies led by Marlene, who does have this young girl, Ellie, captive. Um, so it looks like things went bad when they came in. You know, a bunch of people are dead. Things went poorly when they figured out the battery wasn't going to work. Um, and Marlene had been shot. Um, and she was originally going to bring Ellie to a Fireflies hospital, and I can't remember the first place they were supposed to go. Massachusetts State House is where they were supposed to bring her first, and they don't really give an explanation. At this point, Marlene has told Ellie, I think you're immune to the virus, so you might be the only chance we have at a vaccine, a cure.
Hmm.
So she's like, basically, I'm going to take you there. And now that I'm shot and I can't, she's going to hire Joel and Tess to take her instead so they can lick their wounds and get healed up, basically.
Yeah.
Um, so they reluctantly agree. Basically, their reward will be a full truck, full gear, guns, whatever they want to go find Tommy in Wyoming. So they're like, okay, fine, we'll do this one job. We'll get what we want. We'll be done. Easy because it always goes that easy. Um, and then they take Ellie and they sneak out of the city, and they run into a soldier out there who finds them while he's pissing on a wall,
Mm-hmm.
doing good guard duty out there. And it turns out that it's the same soldier that Joel has been selling like hydrocodone to to get extra money, kind
Yeah.
of smuggling it in. So, it's kind of showing, Joel in these days, he's kind of a seedy guy now. I mean, he doesn't really follow the rules. He does what he needs to get by, to get money. And he's obviously a man with a damaged past.
Mm-hmm. He still
Um,
has his watch, even though it doesn't work.
he still has his watch that Sarah gave him for his birthday, got it all fixed up, but it does not run anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so the soldier that they run into tests Ellie, and she is revealed to be infected.
Mm-hmm.
So when he sees that, he gets ready to kill her.
Mm-hmm.
Joel kills the soldier, and Ellie tells them that she is immune to the
Mm-hmm.
disease. So that's all the first episode. So that was like an hour and a half long episode. It was a pretty big one.
Yeah, and that's pretty much them. They're not even really that far away yet, right? They were just
They were just
getting
like
out of.
basically outside the city.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
did not get far. Um, so the next one is where it kind of got interesting because it cuts to
Mm-hmm.
like 2 days before the crazy pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they go to Indonesia, and the government like has this infected corpse, and they get this mycologist who is the study of fungus,
Yeah.
to come check it out. And the first thing she does is she looks under a microscope and she's like, "Why have you used this chemical? You only use that for humans." And she's like, "This is a mushroom. They don't grow on humans." They're like, "Well, this one does." I don't know how to tell you this, but things are pretty wild. So then they bring her to the infected body, of this dead person, and she sees that there is a visible bite mark on the leg of the dead person, and that the fungal infection has spread inside of the body somehow. And then she opens the corpse's mouth, and she sees all those crazy little tentacle
Spindly.
things
Yeah.
that are in there, and she pulls them out, and she gets freaked out and then leaves. And then obviously she's visibly shaken. The government guys come to her and they're like, okay, well, you've seen what we're dealing with. um, how do we get through this, like?
Mm-hmm.
And then she asked some questions like where it probably came from, and it sounds like the first outbreak was in a grain factory. They were like dealing with, or was it bread? It was like flour and yeast,
Yeah, it was something that was like a common ingredient.
things that like fungus can grow in very easily. So after they tell her that, they're just like, okay, well, what, we brought you, the leading um mind on fungus. What do we do? And she basically says, oh, don't make any mistake, there is no cure, there can be no vaccine. And she tells them, she's like, the only way that you're going to get through this is you bomb this whole city, and it's basically with us in it, like we're all going to die. That's the only way we're going to make this happen. um and then it cuts to the present, so obviously they fail at
Yeah, and
containing
then
it.
don't they did they start introducing Nick in that episode too, just not saying who he was? Because I felt like they kept cutting to him because remember when later on, I know I'm skipping ahead, but when Joel is with Ellie and he wants to walk around, that stuff was the people from Nick's town. There was like a scarf or a shirt or something.
Oh yeah.
And it was what the lady was wearing. So I think there was like, I think somewhere in that episode it cuts to him sitting in his little basement hideout thing. Like I'm pretty sure that also happened in episode 2.
Yeah, that's
I just
very
don't remember
possible.
in what order all of that was introduced. I know that scene happened where he's waiting for them to leave and then he goes and steals the truck or whatever.
Yeah.
That definitely happened during that episode because it happened before they walked past that little like ravine thing. I just don't know at what point it happened in the episode.
It happens right after the ravine, actually. They show the clothes before they show the lady.
Okay.
But yeah, they do kind of, and it's like they bring it up a little bit because when they get to Joel's, before they leave Joel's apartment, she like opens that notebook and is like, BF, and then there's like the song, so it's like for Bill and Frank.
I don't think I saw that part, but
yeah, that's kind of how they were communicating.
Yeah. When they introduced him though, I was like, man, this dude is like a dooms prepper.
Yeah.
Because at first I was like, is this like a scientist watching like this unfold or like a military person? And then it was just like an average guy. And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. He said, well, like his first line is like something like, jackboot Fox or something like that. And I was like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
this is the kind of guy we're dealing with. So after the old Indonesia stuff, we're back to the present. Joel and Tess have Ellie, but they're like very isolated. They have just found out that she technically has the virus in her system, so they're like keeping her far away, basically a gun on her, and they're just like waiting for her to turn, basically. But I mean, she shows them her bite mark. It's pretty much totally healed, and she did not obviously turn. And so they decide to just continue going on their way. They're like, even if she is infected, whatever, we'll give them to the Fireflies. It's their problem. We just want to get our shit. So that's what we're gonna do. But she comes clean and tells them that the whole purpose of you bringing me is Marlene told me I can make a cure. So we're making a cure here. They still don't really.
I'm pretty sure Joel's like, you're not the first person.
Oh yeah. They don't believe her at all because they're like, we've been through this. Everyone thinks they have a cure. Yada yada.
Yeah.
So they decide to keep going. They make it to quite a few buildings on the way, but obviously the cities are like ravaged by infected. They're kind of everywhere, so they have to be careful to avoid them. They decide to cut through a museum that is very dark, but once they get in there, they realize there are clickers in there. So clickers are a very iconic enemy to the Last of Us series. They are blind, so they can't see, but they use their clicks for like echolocation, and then obviously they have very good hearing. So it was
Those
always
were the ones with the big heads, right?
Yeah,
that was intense. Their whole head was like a mushroom.
Yeah, it's all
I
like
also thought it was
sprouted.
interesting how they're like interconnected, and if you like stepped on the like roots or whatever, it could
Yeah,
like wake all of them up. Like that's pretty intense too.
very inconvenient for them.
Yeah.
But so yeah, they have clickers to deal with, and in the games, it's always like a really big deal. Like you go stealth, you like try to throw rocks and bottles in other directions to like get them to leave you alone.
Mm-hmm.
So it was cool to see that iteration of them in an actual show. Um, Ellie is bitten by a clicker while they're in there fighting. They do kill both of them, but she does get bit again in like the same exact spot on her arm. So they arrive at the state house, but they find that all of the fireflies there are dead. No one's
Mm-hmm.
left anymore. Um,
It also looked very like they were all in a circle.
yeah, they all kind of like died inside, just like laying
Yeah.
away from each other, basically.
Yeah.
Kind of strange. But they guess that someone had been infected and then everyone else got killed, basically.
Yeah.
So, not good news for them. It's at this time that Tess reveals in the fight with the clicker she was bitten and not in a good
Mm-hmm.
spot. She was bitten on the neck, which has a pretty quick turnover time.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they shoot an infected that gets up and tries to attack them in the museum, no, the state house that they're in now, and it triggers the horde in the city, like you were saying. It basically
Yeah.
alerts everyone to their presence. Um, so they hear the mob closing in, and Tess is like, well, you have to take Ellie because you can clearly see on Tess's neck, it's like super infected. It looks gross,
Yeah.
nasty. And then they look at Ellie's arm where she had been bitten again and nothing has happened. So you can tell the virus is not having any effect on her. And Tess basically says, look, this is real. You have to take her. Take her for me, basically, promise me. And so he begrudgingly takes her out of the building out the back way. And then Tess knocks over a bunch of gasoline. She throws a bunch of grenades everywhere. And basically, she's waiting in this building to make the last stand against the horde and give them some time to run away. Um, and then, like you said, all the infected come in. She can't get her lighter to work. And then one basically comes up and like French kisses her with all
Yeah,
those.
he like stares at it. I don't know. It's like, and then just
Ugh, it was so
like
gross.
straight into the mouth, and I was like, ugh.
Yeah, I was like, I don't let that happen.
Yeah.
I know you're gonna die anyway, but don't let that happen.
Yeah, that's like aggressive. Like you don't got to do it like that.
No,
And it was also weird that it approached her like that. Maybe it could tell she'd been bitten though.
I
Like,
think so because there was a number
yeah,
that were just running past her, like they didn't care about her anymore.
yeah,
Oh, you froze again?
yeah.
Yeah,
You're glitching.
you're
We're both glitching. It'll be
nice.
interesting when I edit. It's
Huh.
fine.
Okay. Well, she finally gets her lighter to work as she'd being frenched by a fungus, and the whole
Uh-huh.
place blows up.
Yeah.
So she succeeds in giving them time to run away. Um, So then we get to episode 3, and it's basically all not our main characters. We meet new
Yeah, it's
people.
Bill and Frank, and it's their love story, their gay
Yeah.
love story.
So Bill is a doomsday prepper, end of the world type guy,
Mm-hmm.
government conspiracy theory. So it shows a kind of a flashback, like Kendra
It
said.
worked.
It did work. You can't deny it.
Maybe these guys are onto something,
Maybe the number of preppers after they watch this will go up.
You probably, honestly, people are going to be going to their Home Depots.
Yeah, seriously. And he was just having a great time. I mean,
Yeah, he
honestly.
basically like fenced in his entire town
Mm-hmm.
and just used everyone's stuff. Like he literally put a fence up. He put up traps.
Mm-hmm.
Like he had little hot dogs out there or whatever. He was like shooting their heads off.
Yeah.
He had pit traps.
Yeah. So it
He
was
had a
kind of,
boat. He had everything.
he did. He stole that boat right away. Don't know if he ever used it, but he had a boat. You could say he had a boat.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, it kind of shows back then the military had swept through this town and was just taking people out of it, evacuating everyone.
Which we
And
find out a lot of them were being killed.
pretty much all of them were being killed. They were being thrown to the side of the road and shot and then left there as Joel and Ellie pass by some of these mass graves, basically.
It reminded me of the Lion King.
Oh, like the boneyard.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he was the wise prepper because he stayed hiding in his like secret basement that he had. That you go through like a cabinet to get down, and it was pretty impressive.
Yeah, it was like a wine cabinet. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, and he had like 30 something guns down there, all this crap.
Mm-hmm.
And so as soon as everyone's out of the town, he has free reign. He fences it in. He builds traps. He's like totally. He had a generator. He was like totally self sufficient by the time
Yeah.
he was done. And
And I
then,
mean, once they cleared it, they left it. Like they didn't go back.
yeah, there was no reason to go back again,
Yeah.
you know? And I think by the time, a week passed in the pandemic, it was so bad that the military probably just gave up anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So along the way, one of his traps picks up another guy named Frank. And out of the goodness of his heart and probably some loneliness, because I think it had been a few years at this point, he brings
Yeah.
Frank in for a meal and a shower. And Frank's like, "Oh my gosh, you have like a whole working house here?" Like
There's a little bit of weird tension too.
There's weird tension. He's like, "But there's like
Mm.
hot water." He cooks him like a very nice meal. And he's like, "Oh my gosh, you have like wine? This is great."
Mm-hmm.
And
And Bill's not good at accepting compliments. He's like, "Oh, anything tastes good when you haven't had a meal."
yeah, he's being
Yeah.
very modest and like,
Mm-hmm.
clearly a guy with a lot of skills in the kitchen and this and that.
Mm-hmm.
Before he kicks Frank out, Frank goes to play his antique piano, and
Mm-hmm.
then instead, Bill sings. He makes him sing. He's like, "I got to hear you sing once before I leave."
And he doesn't want to.
He doesn't want to. He reluctantly does, and he sings,
Mm-hmm.
his favorite song.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
And then Frank is like, "So who's the girl?" And he's like, "There is no girl." And he's like, "I know."
I know.
And then I kiss.
And
I was
he's like,
"Oh,
jackpot.
we went like full 360 right here."
Yeah. So then they hook up, and it's revealed that our very conservative conspiracy theory dude is a gay man, very
Mhm.
closeted probably because he said he had
Yes.
never been with another guy before.
And the song is a 1970 breakout hit for rock and country singer Linda Ronstadt called
There you
Long
go.
Long Time.
There you go. His
Mhm.
favorite song.
She was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Oh wow.
Probably not in that timeline though, because
Right.
it was in 2014. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So they decide to, stay together.
Yeah, like it jumps years. Like it doesn't obviously cover the full like 17 years or whatever, but
Mhm.
like it tells you the year.
Yeah, it keeps
And
jumping ahead like 3 or 4 at a time, and you
yeah,
kind of see them
and it shows
aging
some
together.
couple spats. Like Frank's
Mhm.
like, "We need to take care of the neighborhood. We need to make friends." And Bill's like, "We don't have friends. Who are we friends with?
There are
There's
no
one
friends to be
here."
had.
Yeah. But they don't. But then they do make some friends.
They do.
Because Frank's like, "Oh, I've been talking to some people on the radio," and they
Mhm.
have a lunch date, and it's Tess and Joel.
Look at that. So they
And
come in,
yeah, Joel and
whatever
Bill
you're
had the same like point and gun at each other energy.
Yeah, they didn't trust each other at all. They hated every minute of it. Oh crap, can you hear me?
No, I can't.
Hello?
I don't know why it's doing
No.
this. My internet
Oh,
speed was like 215.
okay, you're back.
It's just Zoom, I think.
Yeah, I mean probably. But yeah, like you were saying, Joel and Bill, very much the same person. They don't want to be there. They don't want friends. Where Tess and Frank are, having a great time. They're having
They're trying
wine.
to build connections so that they can have more people to work with.
Yeah,
Basically.
they want friends and places to visit and hang out. It's probably not every day you get to go like chill in a nice neighborhood that's like very clean and functional.
And they can help each other because it's like a safe spot on their journeys that they may be making.
Yeah, and then Joel, offers to get him reinforced wire and better things for his fence to keep things working, and so that kind of introduces the relationship that they have throughout the years. And then we cut to the future a little more. There's like a attempted raid on his neighborhood, for a lack of a better term.
Bill gets shot.
Bill gets shot defending it, but all of his traps pretty much take care of the rest of
Yeah,
the
because he
raiders.
tries to tell Frank to like let him die and save himself, but then it shows Frank like performing a medical procedure basically.
Yeah.
And then it just like cuts again. Like it goes to black. You don't really know what happens there until you find out that
Bill's
it's okay.
telling him like, "You call Joel. Joel will take care of you. Like I'm probably gonna die. Go fix yourself." but they don't give up on each other. And then yes, we cut years down the road, and they're still together, and they're kind of
Mhm.
an elderly couple now,
Mhm.
just having a good time. It, as the years have gone by, it looks like Robert has deteriorated. Unfortunately, he's wheelchair bound.
Robert. No one's named
Frank,
Robert.
the battery salesman, was Robert.
Yeah, Frank.
Frank has deteriorated. He's stuck in a wheelchair, so things aren't. They could be better. They're still having a good time with each other.
They have like medication for him from somewhere. I'm
Yeah,
assuming Tess and Joel, but
and they never say what it is, but it has to be like the Parkinson's thing. It
yeah,
has
I
to
mean
be.
that's what it
They
seemed
showed his
like.
painting, and it was like kind of trailing off. He wasn't able to do
Yeah.
fine motor things. So eventually, we get to a sad point where Frank wakes up and he's like, "I want this to be my last day. Um, so you're gonna take me around. We're gonna have a nice day. We're gonna get married. We're gonna go to the boutique, have like nice clothes, um, and then you're gonna cook me a nice dinner, and then you're gonna put a bunch of pills in my wine, and then I'm gonna go to sleep, and I'm not gonna wake up."
Mhm.
So very emotional. They have
Mhm.
a nice little day out as much as they can. At the end of the day, it's kind of sad, but they get to their dinner. Um, Bill puts a whole bunch of pills in his wine, and
Mhm.
then they toast each other and drink it. And
Mhm.
then Frank is like, "Oh, you put pills in the bottle as well, didn't you?" He's like, "Oh yeah."
Mhm.
So they Romeo and Julieted it basically.
Mhm.
Bill did not want to continue without Frank. It was his whole reason. So they had a nice moment together, and then went and laid in bed together and passed.
Mhm.
And then we kind of cut back to Joel and Ellie coming to the neighborhood, to come see Bill and Frank. They get into the house because they know the code. They find a letter left for them, basically saying, we're gone now. Take whatever you need. So they do get a battery, they get a truck, and they are able to get out of there.
Mhm.
So,
I looked up the differences or like them in the video game.
hmm
Um because Frank only appears as being or only appears post-mortem, I guess, in the game. Because obviously they're going deeper into this because it's a show.
right.
But apparently Frank grew tired of Bill's methods of surviving and left him, stealing supplies and a car battery from a vehicle at a high school and stashing them at his hideout. And on the way
Mm,
back, he was bitten by a horde of infected. So he hanged himself in his house so that he wouldn't succumb to the brain infection and left a note for Bill telling him how he hated his guts, having grown tired of his ways, and how he managed the town. If the player determines Joel gives the note to Bill after looting, well, this is a spoiler if you're going to play the game, but if the player determines Joel gives a note to Bill after looting the area, Bill reads it, disheartened at Frank's words, but keeps up his bravado to get Joel and Ellie out of his town. Joel
mhm.
apologizes for Frank's death and they get the car started and wishes Bill farewell. Frank was later mentioned in a smuggler's note, which Joel found near a corpse in the flooded subway just after losing Tess at the Capitol building. And apparently, he had made an arrangement to meet a smuggler who would sneak him into the Boston quarantine zone and procured false documents to do so.
So a little different situation.
Yeah.
But yeah, can't be super accurate for every little thing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, I guess that's kind of the first 3 episodes. What are your initial thoughts on it
Yeah.
and everything?
I mean, I like it. I've just been too tired to watch it because I get
Because
home, I walk my dog, and then it's like I eat dinner and it's like 8. So,
yeah, yeah, you are kind of in it for the long haul too. I've kind of been slightly like insomniac the past few days, so I'm actually done with it.
oh,
So
you have
I'm
not
all
been able to sleep?
not until like just too late, like till like
Oh,
2.
yeah.
Then I can fall asleep.
So, like 2 hours before I got up this morning.
Pretty much, yeah. I'm just getting to
Nice.
bed, no problem. But
Yeah, I
yeah,
mean, it's pretty good.
I'm enjoying it a lot too. As someone, I haven't played the games, I did know the story. I've seen a decent bit of it played by other people. So,
Yeah.
um, but
Maybe I'll
yeah,
play it this summer. Who knows?
yeah,
Probably
I've
not.
really
But
enjoyed it, and it does make me want to play it. So maybe I
yeah.
will when we're
I
done
told
here.
you it was good.
hmm Well, I never doubted that. I mean, The Last of Us, like that game is so critically acclaimed. Like there is no
Yeah.
doubt it's a good game and a great story, which is why it's
Mhm.
obviously a show now.
I found a funny thing. I just Google searched Pedro Pascal, and
Mhm.
I found in Men's Health how Pedro Pascal became a symbol of modern masculinity. The
Nice.
actor is defying machismo, and setting a new example for Latinx men. And this is what it says: "I am your cool, slutty daddy." Pedro Pascal said directly into the camera while being interviewed during the red carpet premiere of The Last of Us. He said it so casually as if the title, or rather the state of mind, is one most people embrace. Pascal, 47, is not a daddy by the actual literal definition of the word, but he is by the internet's definition. And the internet's definition can mean almost anything: a hot man who is an actual father, a man who is lusted after by the masses, a gender neutral term for any hot person. In the case of our beloved Latinx Mandalorian, he secures the title for being hot, stylish, and kind hearted. But if needed, he could still kick your ass.
Nice.
Yeah.
I mean, he's very much a good actor. You know, he doesn't take himself too seriously. Seems like an all around good dude in real life. So, I mean, what's
Mm-hmm.
not to like?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyways, so I guess 2 weeks from today, we'll have an episode on episodes 4 through 6.
There you go.
Yeah.
Tune in then.
Oh yeah, man. I'm gonna wrap it up. So, um, follow us on our socials. #5 the number 5 MMPOD. Send us an email to 5FIVE more minutes pod at gmail.com. Like and subscribe wherever you get your podcast. Download the episodes. Leave us a 5-star rating and a review. Apparently, my student Gabby left us a rating. So, heck yeah.
Wow.
And share us with your friends and family, friends who are your family, and family who's more like friends and family.
Yeah. Until the next time, we'll be clocking out. More Last of Us.
Bye.
Woo.